Hi everyone, and welcome to One for Fun Gaming. My name is Adam, and I am a lifelong dungeon master, game master, fantasy cartographer, fantasy illustration person most recently, and I've definitely been in the world building and campaign writing business for as long as I could remember, for as many games as I've played, at least since college. And I'm starting up this channel again as a way to share the in-progress reports for what is becoming my publishing arm. I will be doing world building and world creation and fantasy cartography work that will be available for public consumption. This video begins with a work in progress video showing a working session that has been sped up, including some voiceovers of different thoughts and bits of my past. Now, the map in question is for a continent known as Frith Anvor. It is a world that I developed back when Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition first came out. With that, here is the work in progress video. I have sped things up to 1200 times speed for the speed of things. And I have accompanied things with some of my thoughts about my history, about the future of my cartography, about the different lessons that I've learned along the way. So hopefully you enjoy this video. I've been taking classes on Udemy in character design and environmental art, but really my heart kind of keeps returning to fantasy cartography. It's what I've been doing since I was 10 years old, so for 40 years now, that's just where I would while away the hours. I've got at least 150 hours into this map already, generating this by hand. Now, that's not really something that is reproducible in a production environment. So obviously this is kind of the labor of love aspect of things, but the overall goal is that this will be available for sale as the backbone of what eventually I hope will grow into a series of PDFs that'll be available on drivethrurpg.net. I have been in the process of working on the shading for the forests to get them done. So what I'm doing now is I'm applying the ink wash treatment to the forests. And this is going to be pretty boring to watch. So if you don't mind, I'm going to talk about something else. They say that the way forward when you're doing any sort of creative effort or endeavor is to create the thing that you keep reaching for when it isn't there. Because basically if you're reaching for it as an audience member, then so are other people. And even if you don't succeed in necessarily hitting the target exactly, you will have done a great service by advancing things. But for me, the thing that I keep reaching for is that magical thing that bridges the tutorials and the actualization, right? So for me, when it comes to the gaming stuff, still, I'm still no closer to finding that magical solution of what's gonna turn on the inspiration and make it just click. What's gonna make me wake up and be an artist. For me, especially with what I'm doing, with fantasy cartography and world building and everything, talk about a non-traditional art form, right? Like this is, I don't think, I mean, maybe there is. If there is, then please tell me in the comments. But I don't think that there's ever been a gallery opening which has featured the work of fantasy cartographers. So at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you need to pick something that you enjoy doing and that you enjoy doing poorly. So, I mean, you have to pick something that you're willing to do a crappy job at, and you have to be willing to do it for a long time. One of the pieces of advice that I've heard map makers and cartographers give is don't bother putting in each and every peak and every ridge and whatnot in the mountains. It's pointless. And then you can see how I do the tops with the ice and everything, the shading. So I've broken all
all of the really good advice, specifically for this one, because for me, this is the backbone of what will become the Atlas, right? So I'm returning to the guilty pleasure that I've had, and I'm inviting the world to come along and watch the work take shape. I could just be quiet about it, but I like having the sense of a weekly check-in with folks, minimum, on YouTube. In the past, it helped me be productive and keep moving and post things because I felt like I was letting people down if I didn't. It kept me honest and on track for my schedules. And I think this can help other people out there who might be running into the same kind of issues and trying to figure out why there's a certain thing or course or book or tutorial that they keep reaching for, but which they can never quite find, right? To help them take the final step and move from student to artist or performer in some other capacity in life. And it's because you won't find that thing that we keep reaching for, right? You're not going to find it. You're not going to find the thing that we keep reaching for on the shelf because the only author or creator for it in the world happens to be you. And you're still looking for it when, in all honesty, you need to be the one who's creating it. And that's kind of what I figured out in my art journeys, and that's kind of what it's transformed the way that I've approached things. It's given me the permission to pick things up that were guilty pleasures and to realize that, like, I may not be a, Monet. Definitely not a Monet. But like, I may not be a famous artist in the fine arts realm. But I don't need to be, because I do know what my voice is good for, and I do know what my artwork passion is, and that's this fantasy cartography. That's this creating of these spaces through the illustrations of maps and floor plans and top-down scenes that are specifically designed not just to present a particular view. This invites further imagination in a direct, interactive way. This empowers other people to pick up the dream and extend it. A map is a setting. If you've got fantasy role-playing game system of any kind whatsoever that has a similar genre to D&D 5th edition, go ahead and use it. You now have the tools that can hopefully inspire you to dream, like, what would it look like in that forest? Look at those mountains. What view are you going to get from standing at a certain point in that map? Because you know the shape of the mountains, and that the shape of the mountains over here is very different from the shape of the mountains over there. And it's not just bumps on the map with, shading on one side like the standard map symbols are. It's an illustration of a place. It's an illustration of a conceptual world that didn't exist until I imagined it. And the act of putting it down and the act of doing the work shares it with everybody else. Back to the whole missing thing that you keep reaching for, though, like you need to be the one that makes it, right? The good news is that you don't have to take the journey alone. Like, whether or not you share here, or you're just inspired by co-creators like me, fellow creators, we're not getting your name on this stuff. But the better news is that this feeling of I'm reaching for the thing that I can't find. Well, that's how you answer the question, what is my purpose in life or in art? What is my artistic vision? What is my style? What is my passion? How do I develop my voice? That's it. Just find the thing that you keep reaching for on the shelf, which isn't there yet, in any pursuit, and then make it. And if you fail, try again harder, learn from your mistakes, and try again, kind of thing. Because that's the next step, the immediate next step from where you currently are toward figuring out the step after that. Keep doing that. Keep making the missing thing that you're reaching for, and before you know it, that's one step and another step and another step, and at the end of things, time will go by as this pursuit happens, and your portfolio will grow, and you won't have a portfolio full of things that are, trendy. you'll have a portfolio full of things that are your passion. And you will see your voice, and it will be clear for you, and you will have a body of work and a style that you are easily known for. And it'll be wonderful because those are the things that you don't mind spending time doing. Just find the thing that you keep reaching for on the shelf, right? When you look backwards over where you've journeyed, you'll realize too that it isn't magic or talent or a gift from the gods. It looked and felt and behaved an awful lot like work. But at least it will have been work that you enjoyed doing. Thank you for joining me for this work session. Obviously, I still have a lot of work to go on my map, but I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate you for listening, and I hope that you all have a pleasant new year.